Hey everybody, it is time to make another stab at trying to get a core build environment set up so that I can start working on the cores, getting those SID chips replaced. I think the first thing that I need to mention here, and this is actually kind of important, um, part of why this is being as much trouble for me as it is because excuse me, I'm trying to get set up to do it on um, Windows. If you are a Linux user, this process is not only easier but also better documented. I actually already had a Linux virtual machine set up to do this, but I wanted to be able to do it natively because the VM was just too big on my hard drive. So this is this is not necessarily the way that anybody else is going to want to set this up. Different tastes. A few things that I did a little bit of research since the last time I streamed, but I have not. I haven't really gotten anything significant done except I do need Vivado installed. So that is an hour plus just to do that, and most of it is staring at progress meters, so I did that offline. But I did take pictures of the necessary settings, uh, which I will start this stream by running through, so that because honestly, I had to ask for help to know what settings I should select in spite of having set it up a couple of times, because it's not real clear from the text in the setup what it calls for. So we're going to switch over to that. Hold on to the images that I captured. Where is it? There we go. All right. So when you first, oh dang it, what the heck? Just a moment, guys. Sorry. It looks like the document did not export correctly. So let me do a real quick re-export of that. As usual, we will be listening to, as last time, we'll be listening to CVGM for the music. So yeah, anybody, if you enjoy the music and want to contribute some of your own choices, it's a auto request stream, so you can create your own account over there. That's radio.cvgm.net. And yeah, so anyhow, this looks much better. We've got all 9 pages. These are basically just captures of each page as you go through it. Obviously, the first page, blah, 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 there's nothing there. And here, you will need to give AMD your email address and create an account to install it. I really wish that weren't the case, because yeah, I don't like giving that stuff away to sources that are, honestly, AMD is not exactly trustworthy. They're selling those damn email addresses. But it is what it is. Probably, I mean, these are of course only my settings. You may need something different. I downloaded and installed it immediately, but maybe you want to just download the images so you can install separately, but that's not the shortest path to getting it set up. And then here, the default selection is Vetus. Now, of course, Vivado is the only option on here that looks like it's going to install Vivado. But one of the things that the Mega65 installation instructions included was needing to install web version something. So that was a little confusing. So yeah, just select Vivado here. And then on the next page, you're going to select standard because unless you, I don't know, but yeah, presumably nobody looking at this, needing this information, has enterprise, has an enterprise license. So yeah, you'll select standard. And then on the next page, you'll start picking the things that you need. Now, it comes with a lot more things checked by default. Like it will default to including model composer, dock nav, every device. But you don't need all that. You would only need the design suite and the Arctic 7 device. Arctic 7 will allow you to target both the Mega65 directly as well as the Nexus if you're looking to build bit streams for that as well. And I doubt it. I doubt you really need the cable drivers, but it changed the disk space not a bit, so I figured it's not likely to hurt. So I did include that in my install. Of course, agree to give them your firstborn child, and that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so on this screen, there's a little bit that I did that you might want to do in the some of the other installation instructions for Vivado on the Mega65 core README. It suggests that you want to put it in opt, so I put it in the Sigwin opt. I'm not 100% certain that's going to work correctly, and I don't know whether or not, yes, Flippo's Quest, yeah. Anyhow, sorry, I got distracted. But I'm trying, basically it says you want to put it there so that you don't have to modify the makefile, which seems like a pretty good reason if that's if this is your main use for it. But even if not, it doesn't matter where you put it for you to be able to use the tools, but it might for the makefile, so better safe than sorry. I did not mean to put a shortcut on my desktop. I usually try to keep my desktop clean, but it looks like I may have accidentally done that. And then finally, after that, you'll find yourself on this summary page with an install button, and it should look at least approximately like this. This process may change if you're watching this video a year from now or something like that. Honestly, these videos on setting up for core building probably won't. Based on other things I've seen, I don't imagine the information will remain relevant for that long. But for now, this looks like it should work for me. And then I clicked install and sat through an hour of downloads and quite a bit of install time as well. That's why I'm not going to do that live on the stream. And that's pretty much it. After that, I've got Vivado installed. The other thing, I forgot to mention this, I probably should have mentioned this sooner, and Gertrude was the one that helped me to figure this out. He commented on the video over on YouTube that GHDL is really not necessary. So the fact that the GHDL installed choked hard, I can pretty much ignore. Everything from step 3 down is really not necessary to being able to build a core. So instead, what I'm doing, let's see here, GitHub. No, it's here somewhere. Is it here? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm using this build.md is where I got what information I can get automatically. Also, Luda helped a lot with questions that I had about how to get there. One of the things that is immediately important, once you have the Mega65 core repository installed, which was where even was that in these steps? Oh, it was above all of that. It was what happened after we installed Sigwin. Then we retrieved the Mega65 source code, which we did here. So the thing that you need to do once you have the source code, though, is you need to make sure. Now, this is for my needs, but probably yours as well. You're probably going to want the development branch, because the master branch is, well, at the time of that I'm recording this, that is a pretty old branch. That is the batch 2 branch, and since what I'm doing is trying to replace the SID chips and otherwise modify future versions of the core rather than past versions, you have to do this right there. Just a second. Where is it? There it is. So you come into the terminal, and since I started a backup, switch in there, and then you do git checkout developments. Okay, so that will now switch us to the correct one. Let's see here. Now, I need to, it's probably a good idea, instead of doing a master, just a make, I should probably figure out which version I need to use. So let's, or which target, rather. Oh boy, let's see here.
Half a yellow will lift you into orbit. Real rocket man. Could put you in the zoo.
It is not real clear which target I should be using. Let's see. It feels like maybe I'm a little too far down in the file for it to be the actual target here. Yeah, these are all tests and stuff. It seems like if I do all, it's also going to try to build a R2, R3. It's going to try to build a lot more than I need. So... Oh. That is really not clear. What? We call to do the core build. Although I am, well, looks like I'm through the VHDL targets that we saw there. So, yep. Time to add more music to the queue. Oh. Well, that didn't help. I guess that all that's really left then, I guess, is to go ahead and see what happens if I try to... Wait, you know what? Hold on, let me check something real quick. Yeah, there it is. Gertchie had already answered this for me. We want make bins slash Mega65R4 dot bit. If you're once the next batch ships, there's a good chance that you'll actually be wanting to do R5 for that. But for now, this should hopefully work. Let's see here. I am going to make a quick note of the time so that in the future I have some idea how long a build will take. In Pacific time, it is currently 12:23 a.m. according to my clock, and go. Oh, this is such a groovy tune, isn't it? Oh! Well, somebody is up late. Hey, Ventress. And we actually went through a fair amount of this build in the previous stream, as it is, and I expect that in the future I won't have to rebuild a lot of this. Oh dear, hold on. Oh, I need to do something first. I need to do a git pull, because I suddenly realized I may not have, yeah, sure enough, there were some changes. Good thing I stopped when I did. Okay, so now we're starting at 12:25. Okay. Yeah, I still, after this first build that we're going through now, future core builds will probably go faster, since it won't be doing as much of this extraneous stuff. Although I don't know how much of it's extraneous, but, I don't know what all this Atari 2600 crap that's flying by has to do with the Mega65. So, yeah. Probably close this tab now. Okay, let's see. This should theoretically actually take a while. So, let's see here. So, I'm gonna do a little bit of drawing. Oh. Dang. Build failed. Well, shucks. Huh. Yeah. So we got some kind of error in building CC65. Not sure whether that's necessary to actually building the core. So I am going to go ahead and try telling it to ignore that. The Kim 1? What does Kim 1 have to do with the Mega65, I wonder? Huh. I can say that when I tried to when I set up to build cores on Linux, that I did not have any problems. I just basically installed all the stuff and it just worked. So yeah, I think if you use if your desktop is Linux, obviously you're golden. If you can afford the virtual machine on your drive and can make it work with your workflow, that may be preferable. And it's still entirely possible that I am going to need to do this eventually, because I don't actually know for a fact how much energy do I want to put into getting it working on Windows. It might have been easier to have created a virtual machine and just come up with a workflow that I could stand. So well, it is calling Pivado now, so it does appear that in spite of all that other stuff, that it is actually starting the core build. Oh dear. Though. Oh, well, it seemed to get past that. Okay. Oh, yep, here we go. It looks like it's... Yes, it is. It's getting started. Great. Alright, well, since all I actually care about is building cores, that suggests that there's a good chance that this will work. and that I won't need to set up a virtual machine. Yeah, the Vado is very verbose in its output. Uh, I suspect that rarely will that information be terribly useful to me. Uh, it's not that Mega65. This is answering Ventress's question. It's not that the Mega65 is Linux oriented. It's just that that happens to be what the core devs use for their desktops for the most part. So that is what is well tested. Maybe me trying to work seriously from Windows, maybe it'll help to actually get it to where the Windows build is a little more reliable. We'll see. But yeah, don't let this make you think that it matters whether you're using Linux, Windows, or OS X as to being a Mega65 user. This is specifically just that it's easier to be a core developer for the hardware and stuff like that to under Linux right now. I have used Windows to develop it. Now, most people watching this know this already, but I've used Windows to both to build a demo, a couple of games, some music routines, etc. And I don't need Linux for any of that. It's just you can develop applications and games just fine under any operating system. Well, not I don't know about any, but presumably a lot of them. I guess if OS 2 or BIOS is your operating system of choice, you might have some problems. But you might not. I really don't know. I've never done those for obvious reasons. Ah. Now we get into some Guiana Sisters remix. Yeah. Cannot find the path specified. Okay. Yes, I imagine that if you really want into core building, the best way to do that is to just go to the gym. Yes, Ventress is right. Now, once I have an idea for how long to expect this build to take, I'm probably going to not just sit and watch it, but since this is the first time I've tried to do it in this environment, I'm not going to either end the stream or go do art for a while or anything, but after it's set up and working in the future, if it takes a long time, and I know it's going to take a long time, I will just start doing some pixel art just so that we have something more interesting to look at. You know, if we move, yeah, there you go. It's Grim Fandango. If oh, where to move this? You know, we've got it now playing there, but it's well, no, you know what? I can just leave enough visible there, and up here, up here, I guess it is. Oh, yeah, you could see it there. So. We got somebody else over on CVGM making requests. I don't think he's a Mega65 person, but just another CVGM user. I usually don't have that much trouble saying it, but it occurs to me I also don't actually say it out loud all that much. I usually just think it really hard. Quartet was a fun game. That was one of the games I had on my Sega Master System, which is the only console I owned before the PlayStation 1. Because computers were just more interesting than a console. And it did, but yeah, the Master System did have some really cool games, though. My favorite is probably always going to be Fantasy Zone. That was such a great game. So I hear that I think it's Triple Down has a core build environment that builds cores in, like, I think he said 6 minutes. Like, I'm jealous. That's fast. That's real fast. Well, this is a GBA tune, but it may lead me to wonder, what even was the GBA's sound chip? Okay. Oh. Not the Game Boy. Huh. Looks like it didn't have a sound chip. So I wonder why this song is tagged for GBA if there's nothing particularly GBA-ish about it. Oh well, it's a cool song. Alright, well. Oops. Oh. Now we are definitely getting into what I'm pretty sure are the time-consuming parts of a core build. It's area optimization and all that. And the text hasn't moved in a while. It's not that the GBA had no sound. It's that it didn't use a separate chip to do it. The sound was produced by the CPU just directly writing basically a sample stream to the output. So, whereas if you go to a lot of the older consoles, then the Commodore 64 has the SID chip, which had a particular characteristics to it, and the NES and not so much the SNES, I guess, but the NES and the Sega Master System, and the Genesis, etc. They had dedicated chips that made the music, whereas in the GBA, it sounds like it did all of that just in software. So, yeah. I actually did make some demos for the GBA, and so you would think that I would know that it didn't have a sound chip, but I had forgotten that. It's been quite some time. Alright, well, I need to go to the bathroom, so I will be back in just a few minutes. Hey, it started moving again. All right. Oh, something else. A number of people have asked me um, if I have a Patreon, and technically I do, but I've never set it up. So, uh, so yeah, that's something that I will try to get around to doing soon. And when I do, I'll let everybody. Excuse me, I'll let everybody know. Oh, oh dear. Tess requested a long ass song. That song, and let's see here. Where's my cursor? There it is. 10 minutes left out of a 19-minute song. Well, maybe that's what made it special as a GBA thing, was that it managed to cram a 20-minute music set into the GBA. Uh, I wonder what path it's failing to find. Although putting the Vivado install in the Sigwin opt folder seems like it's resulted in the at least being able to call Vivado, so I wasn't completely positive that was going to work. Oops. Sorry about that. That was probably noisy. Ventress is having fun over in the chat with the various emojis. Oh man, yeah, his next song is 10 minutes long too. Boy, he's just taking over the stream, isn't he? In 3 songs, he created a 40-minute block of music. You know, I don't imagine that CVGM would get nearly as many requests if they cost $0.25 a piece, like Ventress is suggesting here. Actually, thinking about it, then we'd all be requesting the 45-minute long sets rather than a 30-second song, too. Not that the 20-minute song's bad, it's just, I usually, at least for for CVGM, I tend to prefer not to take over the stream for 45 minutes at a time. Oh, no, sorry guys, I don't want to 35 minutes at a time. I actually have carefully gone through my favorites list on CVGM over the years and removed all the really long sets because, I mean, well, let me go ahead. I'm going to show you a little bit here now. When you're a CVGM user and you like a song, you can vote on it from 1 to 5 stars, and this heart here will add it to your favorites. And that's the thing you see when I go over here and I click these. This is what adds it to my queue. So I am requesting out of my favorites list. So, if anybody else sets up over there and wants to be doing stuff like that, they can also start their own favorite list. Post-processing in floor planning. Doesn't that sound like a Hollywood writer's idea of what hacking looks like? It doesn't sound like real terms to me. I mean, I kind of grasp what's going on there in that it's you got to lay out all of your virtual gates in the not memory, I don't think, but whatever you want to call it on your FPGA. And so it's trying, optimization, blah, blah, blah. It's like FPGA does a lot of heavy lifting for you. It's, from what I understand, and fair disclosure, I don't know FPGA that well already. To Ventress's question, yeah, it looks like we're up to 4 viewers right now. But anyhow, it's almost like when you're developing for FPGA, based upon what I understand, it's almost like you are telling it, this is the kind of math or whatever I would like. Please design me a chip that does this, and then the software does almost all of the work. Physical synthesis in placer. I could be wrong. I think we're actually making pretty good time on this, although, well, good-ish. It's still been about half an hour, so in the future, yeah, I won't just sit through watching this when we do a core build. I will either close the stream while it's building or do pixel art. I'm pretty confident that this is working, though, because I don't think there's a whole lot external to Vivado involved in building cores. So, yeah, this should be close to, well, however much time is left, I'm pretty confident that we do have a working build now, so that's awesome. Once this build is done, I probably will end the stream because I don't really have anything planned for after this, at least not now. The next thing that I will most likely do, actually, you know what, and I'm not going to do this tonight, but what I am going to do next, I have started on I've started on a system, not true system startup effect, but something that we can put in front of our programs. I will, of course, share it so that we can so that we can. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Something that just gives you something that makes it look like it's a game system starting up before our games or software starts. So it's going to be, I'm going to stop the music for just a second here. What it's going to be is like it's kind of going to be like what I've got it so far and where I intend to take it. It's going to be kind of like the Sega Master System slash a lot of the Genesis startup. It takes the Mega65 logo and kind of draws it down in the middle of the screen, and it's going to be doing the what thing that it did, but I'm gonna do it with a super saw, so it's gonna sound like a lot more hardcore. It's gonna sound a little bit like, say, the THC startup, and then of course after that, it's going to go mega. So that should be a lot of fun. Anyhow, back to the music. Okay. We're into some Dr. Awesome now. For those of you, oh, excuse me. Sorry. For those of you that don't know, Dr. Awesome professionally works at Team 17 and does a lot of the music for their games. I think he did the Worm soundtrack and a lot of other stuff. But during the Amiga years, man, he made some of the coolest tracks. Whoa, excuse me. I'm happy. This really seems to be going quite well here, I think. And warnings and stuff all over the place, but that is definitely one thing that not Windows, but Linux gets you used to is ignoring warnings in your build. My OCD hates it. There should be no warnings. It should all be perfectly clean. No warnings, no errors, no infos, my bit can't avoid infos, but no warnings. I have more than once in my life set my build environments to treat warnings as errors because I don't actually have OCD, and I do apologize to the people with OCD, but I am pretty sure that I do have OCP, which is similar, but like OCD is a debilitating condition, and OCP is not. If things are not perfect, I don't have a problem with it, but boy, I sure do like it when things are perfect. Okay, Ventress says, do not concentrate and inhale. I gotta tell you, concentrating and doing, you know what it is? Talking and trying to do something else. I am not as good at talking as one of my multitasking things. I used to be really good at it. When I was younger, I could hold 3 conversations and, code at the same time, but now it's like I'm a lot more easily distracted than I used to be. Do not use this file as a steps. Was there something in there that said that? So, Ventress is throwing all kinds of weird quotes out, like, do not concentrate and inhale, do not use this file as a step stool. And I'm wondering if she's reading it off my screen and I'm just missing it. No, okay, no, she's not. I wouldn't have expected it from the Vivado people because Xilinx and AMD are going to be a little bit uptight about the output, but I could totally see if the Mega65 files can if the Mega65 files do any echoing, I can see where they might get silly. Ah, she's making up warnings. I see. Okay. Trying to impersonate one of my favorite. Well, you guys have seen him. I bet I can do one right here. Actually, let's see here. They got a lot of emojis on CVGM. Like that cat that's hiding just behind my picture. Oh. Yeah, no, T-Deval mentions that that warnings are hard to avoid, and yeah, I know. But I sure do feel good when I manage to eliminate them. And thank you for joining, by the way, T-Deval. I hope I'm not murdering your name too much. So hopefully some of what I've done so far in these videos, be able to go over them. Well, Gertchie can. Basically, we probably should do some updating of the article that I worked from, although I don't even know whether or not Gertchie's wiki on his own server is official anyway, so we'll see what happens. But it would be nice if we could get more people involved in core development for the Mega65, or even, and this is something I know, I mean, most of people watch this, I probably know you, you probably know me, and so I'm talking about stuff we all know, but just in case, yeah, getting into this stuff is really awesome. If you want to do like Muse does, one of his things that everybody in the community is aware of, but he ports arcade cores to the Mega65 so that instead of having, well, not even ports, makes them work. Instead of doing a software port of your favorite arcade game to the Mega65, you just port the hardware and then you have a perfect or near perfect version of the game as it played in the arcade. So that's another really fun thing to get involved in core development over, because yeah, looks like Ventress is liking Dr. Awesome as well. Yeah, Dr. Awesome's great. And the way that you do the arcade core porting, we've got a Psy 2002, or is it 2001? Psy, and M year some. I'm sorry, I'm not doing a very good job on some of the names at least. But anyhow, there is a relatively easy porting for, not porting, but whatever. Well, technically porting, but anyhow, so that anything that's already been made to, well, not anything, simplifies converting Mr. cores to Mega65 cores. And Muse, for example, he's done Bosconian, he's done God, I want to say Bump and Jump. And well, we can go look. Let's go look at his stuff. Files. And again, I know most of y'all, that Burning Rubber is his newest one. I know that pretty much everybody here probably knows this already, but yeah, he's done Bomb Jack, he's done Zezius, he's done Galaga. I mean, these are not software ports. These are pixel perfect, or at least really close to it, conversions of the hardware into the Mega 65. The kind of, it's really cool stuff. And alternative cores, we're going to be able to do some really cool stuff with that, because it's like we can already turn it. Obviously, the Commodore 64 core is probably the best core we've got. There's also a Spectrum core and a whole lot of other things. One of the things that I'm curious, I really want, it's like I'm personally mostly more interested in Mega 65, actual Mega 65 stuff. I had a 64. I don't feel a super strong need to look backwards, because the Mega 65 is just so fun. But there is, not for the Mega 65 or even the Mister, so this might be hard, but there's a Cray core, which means that theoretically, at least, we could turn our Mega 65s into Crays. That's brilliant. That is so cool. It's not a great computer by modern standards, but I told back when I was a young man in the 8-bit days, I was a soldier in the 8-bit wars, just like a lot of us were, I'm sure. And a friend of mine fought for Atari, the enemy. Well, Apple was the real enemy, but Atari too. Although him and I negotiated a local ceasefire over Commodore versus Atari. Anyhow, recently I sent him a message. I was like, "Hey man, did you know that on this new Commodore machine, we can turn it into a Cray? We win, you lose." He had no argument for that. He was like, "Yeah, I guess I can't top that, can I?" Yeah, when we negotiated the ceasefire, we did it on... Basically, I agreed that the Atari had more colors and potentially better graphics, and he agreed that the Commodore 64's SID chip produced superior sound and thus potentially superior music. So, yeah. Venture says, "Thank you for your service in the 8-bit wars." No, wait, nope, that's wrong. No, I should do it like... Yeah, there we go. Because a right-handed salute's just too efficient. Yeah, I tell you what though, I do not miss the 8-bit wars. I don't... A big part of what in my opinion, makes the Mega 65 community in particular so great is its pretty low toxicity. Because I just don't have the energy for that crap anymore. I'm not a young man. I don't like fighting. I don't like getting angry. And that's not to say that I don't get angry. Make no mistake about it, I do. And I know that a lot of it's irrational and blah, 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 blah. But I don't like it. It sucks. So yeah, it's real nice to have a community for a hobby that I can love that's chill. Because not all of them are. Some of the parts of the demo scene, in fact, it's getting better, but historically the demo scene has been pretty toxic. Not all of it, but more of it than is actually healthy. There has been a lot of great work done in that regard. Especially huge shout out. I doubt he'll ever see this, but huge shout out to blanking on his name. Uh, conspiracy demo. Garguy and his team have done great work on reducing the toxicity in the demo scene, especially the PC parts of it. So, yeah, he's been great. Oh, well, what is it doing now? Huh. The optimist in me is looking at this and going, we may not got through my next set of music, but yeah, I might be being a little optimistic there. I don't know. I have no idea how much is left. I know that my build is not as fast as Triple Dan's 6-minute builds. Man, it sure would be nice to have money like that, wouldn't it? Not money. I mean, yeah, okay, I couldn't afford to have a computer that could build that fast. That's insane. That's really insane. Ah, it makes sense. Multiple global iterations, so. Don't the notes being used here almost make this song feel just a little bit like CeeLo Green's FU? So I'm using OBS as my streaming software, and boy, it's really efficient. It's barely even touching my CPU in all of this. That's nice, considering that. Well, let's see. Actually, that's a. Yeah. No. Oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, the Vivado, I could probably tune it to be faster by getting it to use more than just 2 threads, because it is not pegging the CPU. Sleep well, Ventress. We will talk to you tomorrow. So, for those of you that aren't aware, at some point in the future, Gertchie and I are planning to do a paired stream, because as I know a lot of you are already aware, he does awesome examples of how to push Mega65 Basic way, way hard. Like, I think he was the first person to achieve full motion video on the Mega 65, and he did it basic. It was not high res FMV, of course, but still, that was just absolutely amazing. Anyhow, so he pushes basic hard, but he's been a little intimidated by our RB. But I think that with our RB, basic can produce really high quality games. So him and I are going to do paired streams where we'll cover how to achieve RRB in basic. Or at least that's the goal. I don't know basic very well. He's the basic expert. But what I do know pretty well is RRB, and the graphics kind of in general. So yeah, that should be fun. It would be really, really awesome. It seems like an awful lot of what our target audience, our user base that is productive is interested in is basic, which I'll admit that surprised me a little bit. I was kind of expecting us to be just buried in demo sceners instead of having only a handful of us, but the people that are doing basic, they're doing really cool stuff. It would be really awesome if we could help them to have games that are graphically competitive with, at the very least, high-end, say, Commodore 64 stuff, if not some Amiga stuff. I think basic on the Mega 65 is one of the more capable basics we've ever seen. I won't say the most capable because basic is still actively used by Windows developers in particular. And so while I don't think they're using it to make games much, it's still doing some pretty heavy duty math. Although I guess there's still I think the company that made Blitz is still making some sort of basic game development engine. So, and that's doing full 3D blah 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 blah. So, but for an 8-bit machine, Mega 65 Basic is mind-numbingly good. This is by a friend of mine. His name is GLXBLT, which doesn't really... There's no official pronunciation, but I decided that his name was pronounced Glitch Bitch, and it kind of stuck. This bit's great.
I remember when I was 18, I wanted to fuck on the floor and break shit. When I was 25, I wanted to fuck on the floor and break shit. When I was 35, I wanted to fuck on the floor and break shit. Now I'm 40, I want to fuck on the floor and break shit. What the fuck?
Oh, it says creating bitstream. I think we're almost done. And this has been about an hour for the build, so that's approximately how fast it is on my machine. At least so far. We'll see whether or not we're really as close as I think we are. I hope it's done soon. The headphones they're not uncomfortable, but I wouldn't mind getting them off my head.
I don't know which came first, shitty rave music or the drugs, but it's all come together in a really beautiful way.
He's a really brilliant musician. The stuff he did just testing out Sid Step, it was like, imagine what you just heard coming out of a single Sid chip. Not all of it, but just the crunch and the grind. He made some really cool stuff. All right. It looks like it finished. So yeah, that was exactly an hour to the minute. So I wonder, it should be in bin, I would think, right? Yeah, there it is. There it is. Awesome. We have successfully built a core in Windows. Now, not set up to test it right now, but that's brilliant. That's totally brilliant. So, I guess what that means then is that we are up at the end of this stream. I would like to thank everybody that tuned in and offered moral support and or technical support. And yeah, I'll be exporting it to YouTube for rerun later. And yeah, the next stream, which I don't have a schedule. My plan is just to stream whenever I work. The next one will probably be finishing up the system startup kind of thing that makes it look like it's console startup. I've already got the graphics done. I just need to write the sounds, so that will be what we'll be doing then. So that should be fun. It's going to be different. There's going to be more audio production and stuff like that than it will be sitting and watching make builds scroll by. So yeah, thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is where you are. So, see y'all.